Rise business analyst Chika Mbono joins us to discuss further. Chika, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Customs, you've talked a lot about it. What do you make of this levy?
The thing about the vehicle importation, it could be two of them, two types: the new vehicles and the fairly used vehicles. In Nigerian parlance, the tokumbos.
Right.
And the government historically has used duties to discourage or encourage, as the case may be, encourage local production, which means discourage importation. Now, but what's happened is during the last financial acts that came up 2021, the drive was towards revenues. So the duty has been about 35%, hanging at 35%. But the government brought it down to 5%.
Yes.
For tractors, for cars, for transportation, and so on and so forth. Now, you have this one now that say the duties have been brought down from 35 to 20. Now, the customs people are saying that what's happened, the importers are saying that what's happened is that to comply with the ECOWAS protocol,
yes,
custom brought down the duty from 35 to 20,
yes,
which is the ECOWAS protocol. But because they don't want to lose revenues, they went back through the window to go and introduce the National Automotive Council fee levy of 15%.
Okay.
But the Act says that that National Automotive Council levy is only on new vehicles, not on fairly used vehicles. And that's the crux of this scoreboard that we're seeing now, where the custom people, the importers at all different levels have said that they're going to go on strike to force down this government to eliminate that illegal 15% national automotive levy, which they have imposed through the back door to get back to the 35% levy custom duty rate that they had before. Now, when the government initially brought down the import duties from 35% to the 5% for fully transportation cars, the justification then was that the government said that they wanted to bring down the cost of transportation for the citizens. And so if they logically brought down the duty rate, that cost saving will be transferred to the citizens in reduced transportation costs. I don't think that anybody has seen that benefit. And I do recall then also that the local producers, local vehicle assemblers actually protested heavily against that. I remember on this program we did that. We said that, remember that our president was contesting with the Ghana president for Toyota then to where they were going to establish their assembly plant. And then we said that reduction in the duty for fairly used vehicles was going to affect any assembly plant that's in Nigeria. And indeed, assembly plants like Volkswagen, Peugeot, and all whatever were complaining that the Nigeria will suddenly become a dumping ground for fairly used vehicles. And I guess we keep talking about in this program the work of custom. Is custom to promote trade or to generate revenues? But as it's been, they have always been aligned in Nigeria, at least of recent, towards driving revenue, because this is an issue that has to do with macroeconomic policy. One, how do we support the local production of vehicles in our country? Because when you produce vehicles in our country, whether they're Innocence or Peugeot or Volkswagen, there's a high level of local value added. Whether they're even CKD or semi-KD, they create employment for Nigerian citizens. So that's one major issue. The other issue is the drive for government revenues. If the duty is high, government gets a lot more revenues in this broke period. And the third one is that a lower duty also hopefully transfers lower transportation costs to citizens. I do believe that all those have to put in the basket. But you see, it's like no man's land now. Because there's a confusion. Federal Ministry of Finance, Customs is supervised the Federal Ministry of Finance. You know, we don't know which ones are applicable. The importers are saying that this is illegal, that the levy is supposed to be 2% and only on new vehicles.
Right.
Customs is charging it on fully, you know, and nobody's talking. And I'm hoping that with the warning tracks they want to do, or they have done, or they need to do after the holidays, that the government will listen and everybody comes to the table to resolve this for the good of our country.
Thank you for that, Chika. Excuse me. The PENCOM, the recapitalization.
You know, you just need to see, like I was watching yesterday, I think one of the states in the east, southeast, where a lot of the pensioners,
I think it was Abia.
Abia State.
Yeah, I think that's
were
what it
carrying
was,
placards, and for their, you know, the lack of pension. It's not only Abia, or some other states have been. You have had things like that. You see, that was what the pension reform wanted to avoid, whereby people who serve the country or serve their companies for upward of 30 years, whatever, and they leave and retire, and there's no money to retire, and within 1 year of living, they fall sick and die. You know, so the Pension Reform Act, you know, came in to, you know, reduce, you know, eliminate that, and it has had some. I don't want to use relative success. It has been successful substantially. The only problem is that a lot of government states have actually not signed on them. Now, so at the first level, you have the pension fund administrators, who are the people who administer. You know, there are laws as the minimum number of staff that the company must have, that they must register, you know, with a PFA. And then what happened, they are the people who keep the register, the records and stuff like that, where you pay your money, deduction, staff contribution directly from their salary, and then employees match it accordingly. And that money is invested through the pension fund custodians. Whereas about 22 pension fund administrators, I think there are about 5 pension fund custodians. The pension fund custodians are like cannot fail institutions. You know, those are the solid ones. Now, but what happened? The administrators, the PENCOM has said you must recapitalize. The 1 billion capital we had before is almost nothing now, so we must move it to 5 billion. And they're giving a deadline which expired on Wednesday. Now the issue is what will happen after that. But let me put it out there immediately for all those who have their money or their accounts, the RSA, retired service account, in any of those non-compliant administrators, nothing will happen to your money. Good. Because it's personal. You know, what happens is ultimately, remember what I said, ultimately, it is with the pension fund custodians. So if your pension fund administrator, PFA, does not qualify, does not meet the capitalization, it can be liquidated or can be forced to merge with another one to stay alive. But the issue is there's a policy there for transfer of your RSA, your retired service account, to another administrator that survives. So there's no problem, no fear of losing your retirement savings account in that respect. But just like most Nigerian things, PENCOM hasn't come out to say what will happen. The deadline has expired. Will it be extended, or what will happen? You know, so that has not happened. But the most important thing is the reassurance to the citizens who have RSAs that nothing will happen to the investment, and most importantly also to the states and corporations who have not signed on. You know, it's illegal actually not to sign on, you know, to actually comply. So that all these things we'll see in the states where retirees are just carrying placards will actually be eliminated. After serving your state or country for several 30, 40 years, you should go and live in peace and cash out.
With retirement. And
you know, we're living in an inflationary environment. 1 million naira 10 years ago,
it's not 1
million naira now. You know.
Arise business analyst Chika Mboni.